Alright guys, what's going on? It's been quite some time, but welcome to episode 1 of my Ironman series. You may be wondering where I've been for all this time. And Ironman, it kind of answers a little bit of that question. I've recorded footage from this account since the very release of Ironman, and I've been progressing on it on and off ever since. This account has come a long way. I feel like I've got enough footage to make a viable series out of it. If you would like to see this series from me, more episodes like this one in the future, let me know via a comment or a like. But anyway guys, Tutorial Island is complete. Let the Ironman begin. Alright, so this is like the very beginning of this account, as you can probably tell. And I think when we start here, I need to get my, the armor from Adam and Paul. But basically, I've been thinking about Ironman a lot prior to being released. And I think the strategy I want to go upon is getting thieving up first. The reason being because I can get some early money with Silk and start to buy runes, so I can tackle on some boss monsters that I normally really wouldn't have the ability to take on. So what I'm going to do here is start pickpocketing some men, and that should enable me to get 5 thieving pretty quickly. So this is what I'm going to do instantly. We'll do a little cut, and I think 5 thieving is probably the smartest thing you can do once you create this account. It's really not I don't know what the most optimal situation would be. If RuneScape was a speedrun and you had to max, I'm not sure if getting 5 thieving initially would be the quickest way to do things, but I'm pretty sure, for Ironman at least, I really need these coins because the things with a standard account, I can normally just trade things over and make money in different ways, but with Ironman, I'm not able to trade other people. I'm not able to get free runes instantly for no real effort. I can't, do a money making method, sell those items and then get the money from there. What I have to do is actually get the money myself from raw resources. So before going to Artie, what we're going to do here is do the museum little mini quest in Varrock, and this will get me 9 Slayer and 9 Hunter for absolutely free. It was kind of annoying to get this done. Like, I didn't need a wiki as such to get the answers correct, but there's just so many annoying questions, and it was a little bit tedious, but it's really worth doing at the start of any account, let alone an Ironman. So this will come in handy at some point. But after we do this, what I plan on doing is going on Edgeville and using the lever to get to the wilderness, and you'll see that in a sec, yeah, because what this allows me to do is essentially get to Ardugny really, really simply. I'm going to get crucified for my pronunciation of that word every time I say it, but I don't even care. Ardugny it is. Yeah, but once we teleport to the wilderness from Edgeville, I can just teleport back with the same lever, and instead of going back to Edgeville, it puts us in that infamous town, so I can actually utilize my 5 thieving. So at this point, what we're going to do here is go from 5 to 20 thieving just at cake stalls. I kind of get crashed here by this little poo face and attacked by some guards, but essentially after it doesn't take too much time. But the reason why I want to steal cakes as opposed to tea, I'm not sure the experience difference, but I really need the cakes for just basic food supplies, if not anything else. And they heal 12 for 1 inventory slot, which is super duper handy for a lot of different things. And especially when you're low HP, multiple bites from a single food source isn't actually too bad. So here is the little mashup of me getting 20 thieving. It wasn't too difficult, and I think I prioritized cakes over everything else. I think I drop a lot of bread in the end, but there it is, 20 thieving, pretty simple. And what this will allow me to do is start thieving Silk, I'm pretty sure, at some point. I'm not exactly 100% sure when Silk is, but that is my goal here, and I will get it. But I'll show you guys how many cakes I've stolen up until 20 thieving, and I'd highly suggest, if you're a fresh account off the boat, to really get stuck into thieving as soon as possible, because all of these cakes are going to be super handy for a very long period of time. Alright, so I gotta admit, I did get a little bit bored of thieving, so what I thought I'd do is switch things up and get stuck into agility. And my recording actually kind of pooed itself, but I essentially did the gnome course until 10 agility. I'm pretty sure the better opportunity to get thieving up, oh wait, what? The better way to get agility up would be to do the tourist trap, and I'm pretty sure you can just get to 25 by just doing that quest. But in the end, I ended up getting 10 agility, as you saw on the gnome course. It wasn't too bad. It actually doesn't take that much time, and was kind of like flipping out about that new shortcut behind the Lumbridge Castle. I hadn't actually seen that before, but eventually it took me about 25 minutes to get from 10 to 20 agility at the Draenor course. As I skits out, I'm like super happy at this point. And basically agility for me was pretty simple because a lot of these moments in this account I wasn't able to record, and agility was just really, really simple, and like I didn't have to constantly record little updates of it. I was just kind of plodding along at it as I go. But this was my first random event that I actually got on the account and didn't dismiss. I think the first one was a mime, and like unfortunately when your account's really, really new, the last thing you want on it is a mime random. So this was like the first useful random event I got, and I actually got 5 cut rubies out of it, which is really, really good. I don't think I can actually use them for a very long time, but they look nice, and it's just a morale boost in the end. But eventually I did enough agility to get myself 30, which pretty much allows me straight to go into the Varrock course. But what is pretty sweet is that coming up right now is my first ever bit of live commentary that I did on the account. So hopefully this works out. Alright, so it's at this point that I finally can do my first bit of commentary that isn't like post-produced. So this is going to be a little strange, but I'm actually excited to get something done, because the reason why I'm actually doing agility right now is because I can actually do it quite a lot and I'm not going to miss out on much. As in, like, I can do it, like if I was doing questing or something like that, it takes a lot of commentary as we go along. But 40 agility is sick, and I don't think I'm going to get it much higher than that today, at least, because Canifis is an area that I can't exactly get to with at least doing a few quests first, Priest and Peril being the main quest needed to be done, and that requires combat. And as you can probably tell, I don't have that much experience in that regard. So now that I've got some time on the mic, I might go ahead and choose the path of doing some quests, because especially on Ironman, I want to get some massive quests out, such as Waterfall, out as soon as I possibly can, because they're just so valuable for getting quick experience as opposed to training cows or something. So yeah, I think alternatively, if I run out of time, I'll probably end up grinding Thieving or Hunter. But whilst, as I said, I've got some time on the mic, questing shall be the course of action. But yeah, I'm pretty happy, I'm pretty excited, and I'm enjoying Ironman so far. But the episode, or whatever this is not even close to being over, so it's time to continue the grind. Alright, so I got to admit, I'm in a bit of a predicament right now. I need to do the quest. What is it called? I started Gertrude's Cat on the way here to Falador, but I need to really do Witch's House quest, because even in my 99 strength guide, I made it fairly known that that quest is extremely useful, and the 25 or 24 HP, whatever it gives me, offers me a massive utility when it comes to quests like Waterfall and things like that. So the quests kind of just roll one off the other when you sequence them together like that. They synergize well, is what I'm getting at. So the problem with that is that with an Ironman, money is a very scarce resource, and I'm beginning to realize how scarce it actually is. With 240 coins sitting pretty in the bank, that's just not going to cut the mustard when it comes to casting Earthstrike or what I'm going to use to take down that boss. So I think regardless of what I have time for, I think I'm going to have to do some thieving to get some silk from the silk stores, because I do realize that you can go to the wilderness and get steel plate bodies, but it's day 1 of release, and I can only imagine how terrible that's going to be in terms of death potential. So I kind of want to make my Ironman, foundation not upon, a world hopping technique like that, especially in the wilderness, because it's dangerous as shit. But if you're a new Ironman, if you're making your Ironman account in the future, I would recommend that over this, because I think it's going to be a little more efficient. But for those who didn't know, you can actually use the Castle Wars minigame teleport, and I've been using this to get to Yanile, and to get to to get to Ardugany, whatever you want to call it. I've just been using the Edgevale lever, so either one of those, depending on whether or not the thing is on cooldown, is my choice of transportation for now, considering I have no teleports. But I think I might just jog it out into Yanile, just in case I get belted by one of those ogres on the way there with my money. And yeah, so I might pick up with you guys after I've done a bit of thieving. Alright, so before I get stuck into Silk, I think I'm going to do the Monk's Friend quest, whatever it's called. This will get me 14 woodcutting from level 1, so I can kind of skip that whole awkward phase and pretty much go straight on to oak trees, which will be great. And to get my fletching up, I'll show you guys how I do that when it comes around to it. But I think this quest is like 5 minutes long, and 15 woodcutting is almost done out of it. So it's definitely a good quest to get done, especially that it's on the way. So we're going to go do this real quick. Okay, so I think this is the part where he busts out the dance move. So yeah, I think this quest is done. It took me about 3 minutes to get this done. So yeah, I'd highly recommend getting this bad boy out of the way. Not to mention the sick dirty dancing that goes down afterwards. But yeah, this quest is good. I didn't think it would be the first one I get finished, to be honest, but I'm glad it is finished. But now the painful task of moving on. 13 wood cutting. What a snake. But we're 2 logs or 2.5 logs off of getting 14. But yeah, very close. Very good wood cutting XP for what it was. But yeah, now I have to go thieve for a little bit, and I'm kind of torn on this because I really want to get stuck into some quests and making real progress, but I kind of have to get this done before I can do anything. So and by the way, this 40 agility is paying dividends badly. I'm really glad I chose to get that up early. But yeah, we're going to get stuck into thieving, and what I'm going to be doing, since I've already gotten 20 earlier on today, as you would have seen in the little slideshow thing, whatever it was, I got that off Cakes. So that enabled me to get a bunch of food that I'll be using throughout the early game. And not to mention that now I can go straight into Silk, which is great. And I should be able to make about 30k an hour apparently, so I've heard off the grapevine. But I think I might go to a more populated world because guards can be a bit of an issue if they're not trapped well. But this one looks like it's okay. But yeah, anyway guys, I might get stuck into the thieving and I'll lift off a bit later. It's kind of sad that random events are good, but another mine show. I've had 3 total random events, and 2 of them have been a mine show. And I've got to be honest, dude, I'm always going to be busy when it comes to a mine show, because I know once I get the full set, I could probably get a gem or 2, but the time it takes in total to do that event 5 times at least to get something out of it, I don't think it's worth it, to be honest. I might review that in the future, but for now, I just cannot be bothered thinking, crying, and making glass boxes for a stupid mime. So something I've been doing to break up the kind of monotony of stealing silk, running to the bank, and then coming back is coming to this place here. And for those who don't know, I think it's 28 thieving the requirement. Let me just check the chest. Yeah, level 28. If you come to this chest here, this northern one, not the southern one, I don't even know what that one gives you. But if you loot from this chest here, you receive 1 nature rune and 3 coins. And because I've been hopping worlds like a little rabbit, I now have 100 nature runes, so this will be sweet. I'm not going to continue doing that. Like 100 nature runes looks like it, it might be easy to get, but that did take me quite some time. So to say the least, I won't be coming back here until I really needed to. So I'm just glad I got it out of the way, because elking for Ironman at least, I think it's going to be one of the best, money making things in the game. And obviously there's no real trading involved, so the high alchemy volume of items is kind of where I'm going to get a lot of money through Slayer and things like that. So getting the nature runes as soon as I possibly can is obviously a bit of a priority. But yeah, we're almost at 38 thieving, which is my goal. We're currently sitting pretty at 34, not too far off 35. But yeah, 612 silk. We've got a little bit to go, and I'll go finish that off now. So finally, a random I can use. So we got the genie for the first time, and unfortunately, I don't really have any skills where I think it would benefit me greatly. However, Slayer's always going to be a prick to train, so it's going to have to go there. I was kind of contemplating putting it on thieving, but Slayer's just such a grind that any advantage I can get, I will take anytime. But yeah, we're pretty much close to 38 thieving, but I think I shall explain what I've got as a setup here, because as you'll notice, I have 0 chance of being attacked by a guard unless somebody lures them. So what you want to do, let's say you're level 3, you've got 10 hit points or anything like that, you're a vulnerable little boy. What you want to do is lure the ones that will aggro you when you go to steal the silk. Open the door, lure them a few steps away, then close it. Just make sure you've got like cake or something so they don't just bang you out. Otherwise, it'll be a tad awkward. But yeah, once you've locked up a few of them, you should be safe to go. And you can pretty much just not even look at the screen as you do it. Just be reasonable when it comes to doing that. Don't be silly, and make sure there's nobody who wants to, nobody that wants to do wrong by you and get you killed in the process. But for the most part, you should be fine, and it makes it a hell of a lot easier. It pretty much turns training thieving into somewhat like a hierarchy kind of thing where you don't even need to concentrate on what's going on in the screen. But I shall finish off my 38 like I've said a million times before. Alright, so 38 thieving's done. Not too sure what to do next, because I got to 38 because I knew Master Farmers is a good point to switch methods, but at this point I'm not really sure what I want to do. I kind of still need to do questing. I might do Priest and Parole just to be able to get to Counterfeit and continue with Agility. But for the starters, I also need to get into Hunter. What I really want to do with this Ironman is like get the base groundwork done as soon as possible. Getting full graceful and things like that I think are going to be extremely beneficial in the long run. So obviously I want to get them done as quick as I can, but I also can't neglect my combat stats. So what with the thieving mechanic of silk, I need to wait a little bit before I can resell this silk to the guy I stole it from, or some other dude. I can't exactly remember. I've never really done it before, but once I do sell all this silk, I think I'll have a bit over 50k, maybe 60k. Hopefully it doesn't take too long to sell. But I'm glad that's all done and finished, and all that's left for me to do is really buy runes after that. It's just filling in the time between now and then that's going to be the issue. But I think I'm going to get stuck in a hunter or something like that. I think I'll figure it out as I go along. But yeah, glad that silk's all done and time to move on.